It's like 112 degrees out there.
No, who you telling?
What's going on, Bulls Nation? And welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Did you just notice that said Bulls pregame?
It did. It did.
We got a game?
We got a game today.
Bulls are playing a game?
Not in this heat.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into our CHGO studios here downtown West Loop. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. He's on Twitter at BOW, B-A-W-L Sports. And in the magic circle, it's our guy, Will the Goat Gottlieb. He's on Twitter at Won't Gottlieb.
Won't he do it?
You can follow us at CHGO_Bulls. Hope everybody in the Chicagoland area is staying cool. Man, what a weird 12 hours of weather we've had between the crazy-ass storm that rolled through last night.
Oh, my God.
And then today it's like, congratulations, you've moved to Mars.
It is Hades outside. I looked at the weather. That's what it said. It said Hades, not 80s. Hades. It is terrible out there, man. This is the worst.
So I've been wondering.
I got a question for you.
It's the worst.
With this incredible heat and you being a big guy who doesn't like the heat, why in the hell are there socks on your feet?
Oh, man.
Free to feet.
First of all, these are the least of my concern, to be honest, right here, man. Like, I feel so light and airy and all the things flowing through and keeping everything together. I'm enjoying this right now with my socks. Everybody take a glance at my socks and my slippers, by the way, with the ball on the side. They're peep that right there.
I like them.
Yeah.
They make me think of the Globetrotters, but they also just make me think of, the U.S. of A in the summertime.
It makes me think of the ABA also.
Oh,
that's what I think of when I see like Dr. J and all those guys.
I got a question for you guys. So we were here yesterday during the storm, obviously. We were here. We had a bunch of people. Cubs were going on, Sky.
Oh, yeah.
White Sox. And so we were about to start the Cubs pregame, and the siren started going off like audibly outside. So we stopped the pregame. We didn't go on with the show. And we had like a long discourse about whether or not we were going to go into the basement level, which is like the parking garage. Sure. And a bunch of us ended up going when it started to get bad, but Sean and Herb stayed and watched the Sox game away from the windows, even though the whole building is basically one big window. Yeah, because
Sean and Herb are a bunch of scaredy cats. Oh, tornado warning. We better go hide in the basement.
So that's what I was going to ask, what team you would have been on. Apparently, Peck believes that
I'm on team stay where the TVs are and watch the damn game and don't be a wimp.
Okay, well, that answers that. And I'm not surprised by that answer. What'd you say, Goat?
What team would you be on, Mr. Gottlieb?
It's hard to say. I don't really know what it was like. I wasn't there. But, I mean, if it seems like there's going to be a tornado, I'm probably getting away from the windows, my dude.
Yeah, just get away from the windows and do that. I literally slept through a tornado once, so I'll probably be up.
I don't think it was necessary for us to maybe go. Like, it obviously ended up being fine, but I will say it was fun down there. We had a good.
Saw the beers being delivered.
Yeah, we had a good hangout.
Awesome.
We had a good hangout down there. So I think
there's nothing wrong with drinking old styles in a basement / garage.
Yeah, that's a Tuesday, right there.
Sure is.
It's a Tuesday, man. Nothing wrong with that. I didn't have a problem with y'all leaving and putting your safety first in something like that. That's not no wuss nothing.
I do. Because they were putting their safety first instead of their Chicago sports fandom first.
Wow. You are
Could
really
you watch
insane.
the game in the basement on your phone?
I guess, you could. You could just stream it on your phone.
It's a new world, Matt. They can literally stream.
Yeah, I think Vinny was following the Sox on his phone. 21st century.
Okay.
So any tornadoes or 100-degree weather down in Brazil right now, Will?
No, it's like 65 and sunny. This is what's up.
That sounds pretty nice.
Look how
This
happy
is
he
what's
is.
up.
It's a lot warmer than
coming
that
back.
here.
I'm not coming.
I'm not leaving.
I ain't leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Brazil goes on.
So we got more draft profiles on deck for you guys today. We are going to get to a couple of big guys. We got Walker Kessler, who played his
Texas
first year
Ranger.
college ball at UNC and then transferred to Auburn. And then after that, we're going to talk about the new Serbian sensation, Nikola Jovic, who, by the way, I've typed his name into my phone, I don't know, half a dozen times over the last day or so.
Keeps changing it.
Autocorrecting to Jokic every damn time. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, man.
But before that, we got to talk about Game 5 of the finals.
Yes.
Wow.
Game 5 of the finals, man.
Andrew Wiggins.
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
We've been singing his praises for some of these big contributions he's made in the finals thus far. His rebounding that has been absolutely crucial for the Warriors. He did more of that again in Game 5.
He did.
He pulled down 13 more rebounds.
He did.
Impeccable defense.
Yes.
Locked up Jason Tatum on
Yes, he
several
did.
occasions, including down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Yes, he did.
And offensively, was just finding ways to get buckets, attacking the rim.
He was special. Like, that was his game, you know what I'm saying, the coming out game of Wiggins. Because we talked about it yesterday. He had been solid the entire finals. I've been really impressed with him the entire finals, and I was more impressed with his rebounding numbers than I was his scoring. But yesterday, it just all kind of clicked.
Yeah.
You know, and it just really came together for him because he was giving it to him every kind of way. The most impressive thing for me was he was 0-6 from the three-point line. That was the most impressive thing. 0-6, still dropped 26 points on you, man. And I mean huge buckets. You know what I mean? Just carried it on in the fourth because Steph wasn't having that kind of game like that. But I thought Draymond stepped up. I said he'd have a triple-double. It was right there. He was right there.
8, and 6, I
right
think.
There. 8, 7, and 7.
Yeah.
It was right there. But but no, it was all about Wiggins and just a great, great game that he had. And I'm just really proud of him, man, because he's a guy people kind of, were on all over. Even when he went to the All-Star game this year, they're like, what the hell is Wiggins doing there? He shouldn't be in there like that. So I'm just really happy for a guy like him to come out and have that kind of game and that kind of impact, Will, in the NBA Finals. Good for him.
It's fun too, just with, draft season is upon us, right? And he was obviously like the number one prospect of his class and supposed to be, Maple Jordan, like he was supposed to be that dude. And he just never had that career so far. And not to say that like he's turning into a number one option in the finals here, but it's just really cool to see him like slotting into a role that I think makes sense with his skill set. And he's really like maximizing all of his tools. So yeah, totally agree. He was awesome last night. He basically saved the day. I mean, you mentioned Steph. First game since 2018 that he hasn't hit a three-pointer. Like, that is just absurd. He went 0 for 9.
I believe the first playoff game ever in Steph's career that he did not make a three.
I believe 142 straight games with a three in the playoffs, which is just outrageous. So they needed it. They really needed somebody to step up. We talked about it before. We probably know what we're getting from Steph. We probably know what we're getting from Tatum. That hasn't like always been true, but for the most part, it has. And it just, you need to have those other guys step up who's going to have the better group of other guys. And when Wiggins comes and gives you 29 rebounds in 2 games and, back-to-back 20-point games, yeah, like the Warriors probably stole one there considering how poorly Steph shot the ball. And yeah, Matt, you got to be feeling pretty good with Warriors in 7, guess. Maybe
I do.
Warriors in 6.
I do. I mean, I feel good about the Celtics waking up and realizing that Game 6 at home, do or die time.
Yeah.
I do think this is going to get pushed to 7 games.
Yeah.
But the reason it is now 3-2 Warriors is something that led me to make my initial pick of taking the Warriors as the winners of this series in the first place, which is I did think that this Celtics team is deeper and better on paper, but that there was a decent chance that they would inflict damage upon themselves and hurt their chances of winning this series despite being the better team with just carelessness, unforced turnovers, and not being able to close.
Yeah.
Things that we've seen from the Celtics in their run all the way to the NBA Finals in their previous playoff series. 13 turnovers between Tatum, Brown, and Smart last night in Game 5. 13. The Celtics as a team turned it over 4 times in the fourth quarter as that game was getting away from them after they made that incredible run in the third to get back in it.
Yeah.
Warriors turned it over 0 times. I leaned on the Warriors a little bit for their experience and their calm under pressure, and that right now is why they have a 3-2 lead.
Oh, no question about it. And why I like this so much is it's really going as I predicted it would.
Yeah.
Like honestly, this series is completely going that way. So like you said, in Game 6, I expect Boston to do Game 6. And in Game 7, let's just go up for grabs.
Total toss-up.
Yeah.
Absolute toss-up.
Toss it up and let's see what happens. I'm really looking forward to that. So I just need Boston to do their job at home in Game 6. But you mentioned Marcus Smart. Another game in this series where I watched Marcus Smart kind of lose the game. And I don't want to put it all on him. This is the first game I hated the officiating of the finals. This is the very first one where I just was like, this sucked. Well, I told you, Matt, like I turned the game off in the fourth quarter.
You did.
After
the Jordan Poole flop.
Oh, my God.
Chin up. I mean, it wasn't a full flop because he did get, a little bit of a hand in the face.
Pinky on him, dog.
It's contact.
It
wasn't as bad as Chris Bosh on Boozer. You remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
Where
Classic.
Boozer just kind of did one of these, made no contact,
Zero
and Chris
contact.
Bosh was like, I've been shot.
Right. And it just really frustrated me. And I'd watched the calls they had made all night. They hit Udoka with the technical foul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't think they were being fair. I don't mind you calling it tight. I just needed to call on both sides. The play with Klay Thompson, gave Marcus Smart the old 1-2 shove, and the refs just looking at him like,
Marcus
kept
Smart flew 80 feet backwards.
You know what I'm saying? He flopped. I'm not saying he didn't flop a little on there at all, but I just want to see it called both ways.
Yeah.
And when I didn't see it, I was like, okay, I can't do this. It's the first one I've seen this series. I've had no problem with the officiating at all this series, but this one, it frustrated me. I ain't gonna lie to you, Will. It got on my nerves.
Yeah, it felt like it was getting called in bunches, like on either direction. The Warriors obviously were up big, and then in the third quarter, the Celtics came out, had like a couple of quick fouls, hit a couple of threes, and then, came back from down 16 or whatever it was. And it was like, not to say that it probably wasn't even in the end, but just that momentum swing, I think, really helped the Celtics get back into it. And then, as we've talked about so far, like the kill shot, Mamba mentality thing that the Celtics are lacking. I just looked it up. The Celtics clutch net rating during the regular season. So this is games within 5 points, under 5 minutes to play. So close games in the final moments. -9.5 clutch net rating in the regular season. -14.2 in the playoffs. Like they're really, really good at just smacking the shit out of teams, but they can't win close games and they get beat in those close situations. So that doesn't surprise me at all. It's probably a little bit bigger than you might think, but like that tells the story for me. Like they cannot close.
I think that's a technical term, smacking the shit out of.
Yeah, I looked that up quickly.
Yeah.
It is definitely technical term.
It's in the NBA glossary.
Oh, yeah. MIT.
Last thing that I wanted to mention about this game, because of course it was everywhere on NBA Twitter last night as that game was concluding, and Wiggins put forth another incredible performance that was key to the Warriors' victory.
Shout out Wiggins.
After Steph had his first offer from behind the three-point line in a playoff game, 0 for 9, I saw all these people saying, man, is Wiggins about to pull an Andre Iguodala and sneak this finals MVP away from Steph?
Stop the madness.
Anyone saying that? Shut up.
Shut your mouth.
Shut up. Shut up. First and foremost, I think you need to wait until all of the games of the series have been played to cast your vote for finals MVP.
It's a thing.
But right now, anyone arguing Wiggins over Steph, you're dumb.
You're dumb.
Steph, despite that 0 for 9 behind the three-point line and his rough shooting night last night, still averaging over 30 points a game in the finals.
Yeah.
Wiggins, 18. One of those numbers is significantly bigger than the other.
Well, you want to know why Wiggins has all that space, to do his thing and why it's okay? Because of Steph Curry, ladies and gentlemen.
Ding,
That's
ding,
why.
ding.
They can't leave him.
What do we have for him, Johnny?
Did you see how they were guarding Steph Curry? Oh, my God. They weren't even looking at the basketball. They were in his face. Like they were buying him flowers and roses and trying to date him or something. It was like, dude, I love you.
In his face like alien
right
style.
here. Right here, dog. Suction right there on him, man. No, that is exactly why Wiggins had the opportunity, Will.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Is like, why did it take the Celtics 5 games to figure out, like, okay, we need to get up high on Steph Curry in these pick and rolls? Like, they finally did it. It's like more than halfway through the series. It's insane. And yeah, I mean, Steph's going to struggle with the length and the mobility of a Robert Williams and Grant Williams coming up to step high and meet him at the level of these screens. Like, he's not going to be perfect every single game. But what you saw was his ability to like collapse the defense just by being out there and making sure that like every time he gets double or triple or quadruple teamed, like somebody's going to have a good look. And Wiggins took advantage last night.
Take advantage, man. Take advantage. He did his thing, man. I was very proud of him. Also, I saw the trash bug bit Jaylen Brown this time. Looks like Tatum, it didn't bite Tatum as hard this time, but it definitely bit Jaylen Brown. But both of them were getting cooked by Andrew Wiggins, man.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Like, getting ridiculously cooked. They have got to get it together.
Yeah.
Both of them have to be on point. Like, that's just what it is. You got everything you could get out of Horford. You got that one game out of Horford. You got it. That's what you're going to get per series is a game. And you got it. Congratulations. You got that game out the Time Lord. You got one out of him. Awesome. You know what I mean? You saw Derek White was having games. You know, you saw Grant Williams and all the. It's now on the stars. It's now on the guys who got you there to bring it home. They have to get that together. 5 of 18 shooting. Didn't hit a 3-point shot for Brown. Absolutely not, man.
5 turnovers.
Atrocious.
5 turnovers for Jaylen too. And I was listening to Bill Simmons break down the game. He did like a late night recap last night. Jason Tatum is shooting 31% on 2-pointers in the series.
Stop.
31%. And the way the game's played, like the vast majority of those shots are at the rim.
Right.
You're not. That's just such a hard way to. If you're expecting him to get 25 every night, that's
I
difficult.
hate the way he's going up too.
Yeah, it's rough. But in his defense, Tatum has so wildly improved as a playmaker and a shot creator for
Correct.
his teammates.
He has.
That he's still putting his impact on this series in the games that he's not shooting well. But it's like, first and foremost, Tatum, you need to score.
Yeah,
You
I need
you
40.
need to score.
You have to give them that. I get the playmaking and all of that. That's awesome. Making the right play. They say that a lot about him. Makes the right read, makes the right play. Give me the wrong play then, bro. You know what I'm saying? If your guy is Kobe, I watch Kobe make the wrong play all the time. But you know what the result was? A bucket.
W.
You need W and a bucket. You need that, man. Get some wrong in you, all right? It's all right you making the right plays. Get some wrong in you, man. Like, go up. I want him to go up stronger when he goes to that paint, man. He's going up to get fouled. His own coach said this. He's going up to get fouled. He's not going up to score. He's got to get that together, man, because he literally has one game to do it.
Yeah.
If Marcus Smart's taking 15 shots, Tatum's got to take more than 20.
Come on,
right?
man. Come on, dog.
And look, one of the strengths for the Celtics is once they figured it out midway through the season and went on this crazy tear and looked like the best team in the league for the back 2/3 of the regular season is because they can get points from any of those guys on any given night.
Right.
You can have a big Smart night. You can have a big Jaylen night. You can have a big Tatum night. You can even have a big Horford night.
Yep.
But like you said, Dave, it's the finals. It's crunch time. The biggest, brightest star has got to show up, and not just show up with making some fancy passes. He's got to put the ball in the hoop.
Hey, Will, did I sound too meatheady on that, Will?
Got to get some wrong in you. I love it. Put it on a t-shirt.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Get it on there.
I like that you brought up Horford giving them a game, but that's it.
That's it.
Because that leads us into our friendly reminder about PointsBet today.
Oh.
Because it's Tuesday, and Tuesday means it's time for the PointsBet pick of the week, y'all. The best way to support CHGO is to download that PointsBet app and use promo code CHGO when signing up. If you do that right now, you're going to get those two risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not all. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit when signing up, you get what? That's right, a free membership to CHGO, which unlocks all of our amazing exclusive web content at our website, allchgo.com, including Will's draft breakdowns that he's doing right now. You'll even get a free t-shirt from our CHGO locker, anyone you want. That's 2,000 of free bets, free CHGO membership, free CHGO t-shirt, all for making that $50 or more first-time deposit. Plus, you got that live NBA same-game parlay at your disposal for the first time ever. You can build the perfect live NBA same-game parlay only with PointsBet. You can make it after the game starts.
Amazing.
While the game's happening, while you're watching the game, sitting on your couch. You can also boost those live NBA same-game parlays. Watch live, parlay live, boost live with PointsBet.
What?
And my PointsBet pick of the week, I didn't have enough confidence to take either team to win or cover the spread. Right now, it's Warriors +4. I think there's a decent chance that the Celtics win Game 6 and win it by more than 4. But I think there's also a chance that they collapse and give up, and the Warriors end it on Thursday night. So I went a different direction.
Oh.
I went combined points, rebounds, assists. Al Horford over 21.5. He had kind of a quiet night in Game 5. I think he had like 9 and 9. As we're talking about Tatum needing to step up, Jaylen Brown needing to step up, I am not super confident that they will, but I do know that Al Horford and his old aging bones are not going down without a fight in Game 6. I have faith that Al Horford has one more turn back the clock performance in him, and I think it's coming on Game 6 on Thursday night. I'm taking Horford plus money, plus 105, to get a combined over 21.5 points, boards, and assists.
Impressive.
That's your PointsBet pick of the week, y'all.
That's impressive. That's Matthew Peck. I like that, man. You know Will's waiting, man. You ain't talked to him.
Will, when Game 6 starts, the people shouldn't just live. What should they do?
They should live their bet life.
Thank you, sir.
Tell them to bring me my money.
What were you saying, Will?
I love how you're really pushing for Warriors in 7 to still happen. You got to get one more game out of Horford, push it to 7 games, and then you'll be right. I love it.
I make a lot more money, Mr. Gottlieb.
No paper. He wants that cash
tricking
paper.
me, but very sneaky.
Got that. Very sneaky. Very sneaky.
I am very, very sneaky,
Very,
sir.
very sneaky, sir.
I think you are underestimating the sneakiness. Man. Shout out Mr. Deeds. Underrated Adam Sandler film.
Completely agree with you on this. Yes.
That's Hawaiian Punch. Just coming out of the fountain.
Hello, Kitty.
Are you a Deeds fan, Will?
It's been another one that I probably watched when I was, 10 years old or something, and haven't watched it since. But
hello to you
that was
as
a
well,
legendary
Kitty.
movie at the time.
Oh, calm down, Cecil. That boy Cecil was wild.
You got Steve Buscemi as like the weird, like cross-eyed,
Yes.
like homeless guy that lives in that like fish shanty.
Right. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
So goodness.
That was awesome. I enjoyed it.
All right, you guys want to talk about Walker Kessler?
Texas Ranger? Absolutely. Let's do it.
The Roundhouse Master. Man, I got to shed a layer before we do that. That PointsBet, ad read got me all hot and bothered.
Guys, y'all go, he's
Toasty
shedding the
in
layer.
here.
Oh, come on with it. Wow, wow,
Oh, you know there.
Oh,
there was a tank under there.
yeah. Keep that,
You
ladies.
know there was a tank under there.
There you go. That's not light, ladies. That's his natural glow
That's
right
right,
there.
baby.
Oh, yes. Oh, let the
Summer
pasty out.
pack.
Makes me feel fine.
That's right. This is the brand new tank I was telling you about yesterday.
Oh, that's the one?
Yeah.
And look how normal this is. You pull off any tank.
I was
You
worried
were
about
made
yellow.
for tanks.
It's like I look pale enough already. I figured the yellow just washed me right out.
You are made for tanks, man. Like, your body is made for this. So.
I am.
Well done.
I'm a
proud
sucker
of you.
for him. Shout out Shorts Brewing up there in northern
Yeah,
Michigan.
it's dope. It's dope. I like it.
Okay, Walker Kessler. I've seen a lot of Bulls fans on Twitter excited about potentially taking this guy at number 18.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that might be a little bit of a reach. There you see
face.
Joey is in the camp of believing that he's a reach. There you see his measurables. 7'1", 245 with a 7'4" wingspan. This dude has blocks for days. And then you see his season stat averages there from his year at Auburn. Certainly is going to give you very specific things on both ends of the floor and not going to give you other things on both ends of the floor.
Okay.
But let's start with this. What do you guys each like most about Walker Kessler and his game translating to the NBA level? Will, I'll start with you.
Well, I think there's really only one thing to like about it, and that's the shot blocking. And I don't want to besmirch the shot blocking here, okay? Because this dude has he had the single highest block percentage of any college season since 2009, 2010, when the database started tracking this by like a wide margin. 19% block rate is just outrageous. 4.6 blocks per game. One of the best rim protectors, not only in the nation, but like in the history of college basketball. This guy blocks everything. And so I think it would be stupid to say he's not going to continue to block shots at the NBA level. I think he's going to be a really solid drop coverage big man, similar to the way that Rudy Gobert plays. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be near that level, but that's what he's going to give you is drop coverage, pick and roll defense, and really good rim protection, altering shots, forcing the in-between game, those floaters that are a little bit lower efficiency. And then offensively, being another one of those just dive and dunk guys. I think there's a little potential for him to shoot. He shot some threes. I think he was 10 for 50 on threes this year, but really low free throw percentage, pretty clunky form. So I'm not super optimistic there. He is kind of like a watered down Mark Williams to me.
That's a good way to put it. If this was 1989, he'd be a top 10 pick.
For sure.
The best way I can say that about him. He is the prototypical old school center. You look at him and you're like, okay, what can you do? You're tall. You can block shots. You can clog up that lane. And I like his footwork, actually, and how he keeps those guys in front of him. And he's strong, too. You can't just put your shoulder into him and knock him back. No, he don't go for that. And I like how he jumps straight up, can block with either hand. I like that a lot. And he can definitely run the floor. He can definitely do those things. And he finishes. His percentages around the rim are stupid. You just looked at the field goal percentage.
94% of his roll man finishes at the rim he converted.
That's what he do.
94%.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's good. That's what he does. And yeah, I like that about him. But then he has all the flaws of that prototypical guy like that. He's gonna get in foul trouble. you know what I mean? Because of those blocks, he can't shoot. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how long he could be on the floor because of that. And he's going to get cooked by a lot of those little guards in the league. The whole time I was watching his tape, guys, all I was thinking about was Trae Young. All I was thinking about is, oh, my God.
Trae Young would dribble through his legs.
My God, Trae Young, dude. He would hate him. And, I mean, it would be crazy. He would go underneath him right through his legs to the basket. Like, seriously. And he would be cooked. He would be on highlight reels for being cooked because of his crossover and stuff like that. But I was like, dude, if he plays 8 minutes, he will walk out with 6 points, 4 blocks, and 5 fouls. That's exactly what his stat line would be, which is saying he could be in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So his defense is what's going to get him there. I think that's what's going to carry him. I see him as a lower pick, but I mean, I don't hate him.
What it bringing into? I don't hate him. I think to your point about if he ever gets switched out, like. And clearly, opponents will attack that.
Yeah.
This guy can't play in the pick and roll defensively. Like, he will get eaten alive.
He will.
You mentioned his footwork. Like, I think if it's not a little guard, he's decent in open space, moving his feet. But if it's somebody with good handles,
he's in trouble.
His feet get crossed over immediately.
No, he's done.
It's clearly like where he shines defensively is just being that anchor, that rim protector, as Will said, a drop style defense. Which that's why I understand that some Bulls fans who are already looking at this next season and beyond, even if we keep Vooch for the final year of his contract, which I think still is a very good chance of happening and being what happens. What after that, right? What is our answer at center after that? And thinking, okay, Kessler's kind of projected in that 20 to 30 range because the Bulls need an answer at center. Is he that guy? And do we take him at 18 if he's available? Yeah. I think there will be better talent available at 18 than this guy, assuming the Bulls keep that pick.
Yeah.
And that Bulls fans shouldn't necessarily, because they're worried about the center position, try and shoehorn this guy into being worthy of the 18th pick, despite the fact that what he does the best is, I think, what a lot of Bulls fans are worried about and seeing as a big flaw of this Bulls defense from the season we all just watched.
Yeah. Go ahead, Will.
And that's I guess it brings to me a bigger question about what are we trying to accomplish out of the center position for next season? Because you have a guy who's going to be playing, I mean, as Billy said the one time, he's not supposed to be in drop coverage. He's supposed to be picking guys up at the point of the screen. Kessler's not going to be able to do that. He's just not. Do you want somebody who can shoot the ball better? Do you want one of these pure rim rollers? But then I don't want to see Wendell Carter trapping out inside the perimeter, and I don't want to see them just dropping back. It's what do we want here? Do we want to switch everything? Okay, great. Let's go the opposite direction because Kessler, Vooch, none of those guys are switching everything. That's a very rare thing that you get out of guys like Bam Adebayo, right? Very, very rare. Do you want a pure rim protector like Mark Williams or Kessler, Walker Kessler? Okay, fine. But then you're sacrificing so much offensively where it's very limiting. You have one thing you can do, which is dive to the basket. And I think the last thing for me on this is like the difference between somebody like this and Rudy Gobert is so dramatic that I think it's really silly to like say, well, let's not go after Rudy Gobert because we can get somebody like Walker Kessler. Like that, I just think that's really silly because I think I said this on Twitter maybe before. It's like the same difference between like Jaden Hardy and Bradley Beal or Devin Booker. Like you're not, just because you can get like a poor man's version does not make it like a good thing. And I think if you're going to invest resources in a big man who is this kind of player, you got to make sure they're going to be really, really freaking good at it. And somebody like Rudy Gobert, really, really freaking good at it. Somebody like Kessler or even Mark Williams to a certain extent are going to limit you. So I think you just have to be careful in it. Honestly, watching him makes me even more skeptical about Mark Williams as well, because it really just does limit you.
Will's spicy today, and I like it, man.
I'm spicy.
I dig it. I like it.
Clear out the sinuses.
Yeah, I'm about to say, not congested, nice weather. You know, you do it all right.
Maybe you got some. Did you get some of Stacey's hot sauce sent you down there in Brazil?
I do need to try Stacey's hot sauce.
You do.
I'm sure we can get some at the office at the studio.
I think it's a possibility. I think it's a possibility.
Ken in the comments disagrees with you, Will, for the record, saying Rudy's the most overrated center in NBA history.
In history?
Not sure about that one.
That's a bold statement.
75 years.
I would go maybe the other direction. Just off the top, I would probably have to think about this more. But he might be
center
the most
in NBA
underrated
history.
center in NBA history.
How so, Will? How is he the most underrated?
Because people think he's so bad. Like, people think he's just Walker Kessler, which is just
the contract. The contract has really skewed the argument, because now you could say, like, yeah, he is overpaid. That's I don't think anyone disagrees with that, but he's still a good player. It just is kind of, yeah, it's an easy out for the Gobert haters.
You know, and that's the same thing that we've been saying about Zach LaVine's free agency summer situation.
Yeah.
All of the good to great NBA players are overpaid.
Yeah.
That's how the NBA salary cap works. They're all overpaid. There are only a very small number of the elite in the NBA who are paid the amount that they're worth or underpaid.
Fair point. And it's funny, I'm not even trying to sit here and defend Gobert all day, but he's not overrated. Like, the dude's really, really good, Will.
Yeah, I mean, I remember reading something recently about how much work agents are doing these days, because it's pretty much like minimum contracts, like mid-level exceptions, and max contracts. And like there's very few in-between guys. And it's exactly what you're talking about, Matt. It's like, even though Zach LaVine is not Luka Doncic, you have to max him because he is a good enough player that he could be the best player on any team. And so, and even if he's not, he could be the second best player on a team, and teams can max multiple guys. It's the same thing with Gobert. Like, you may think he's overpaid, but like, that is the market rate for a guy like that. And so that makes him not overpaid. That makes him paid what the market says he should be paid, which is, paid according to market rate.
And while we're on the subject, quickly before we go back to the draft, because it came up, Zach LaVine. Great news, guys.
Here we go.
The source that told us all that he was going to go sign with the Lakers, because he didn't like playing second fiddle to DeMar.
Here we go.
And that he was also maybe going to go sign with the Atlanta Hawks, and that also he was going to go sign with the Dallas Mavericks, or that maybe he was going to go play with Dame in Portland.
Yep.
That same source has now told us this morning, JK, y'all, Zach's probably just going to stay in Chicago. So there's that.
Shut up!
Thank you, Joey.
Again,
I saw that this morning. I was like,
I just want to say one thing about that, which is I am very confident that all of these reports are coming out of opposing teams that would love to sign Zach LaVine, saying, we want to sign Zach LaVine. Like, there could be interest in Zach LaVine coming to this place because we want to go sign him. So I don't know. I don't buy any of that. I don't really blame anybody for reporting that. Like, that, I'm sure that's what they're hearing, but it's never made sense. And I'm glad we finally got some news that would suggest Zach is coming back, because that is far and away the more likely scenario.
mean, the news we've been giving since this all started in the offseason?
Yeah, I guess that
news
makes
right
us
there?
newsbreakers.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I'm going to start searching now for the perfect gift to use of the perfect told you so eye roll shrug.
Seriously.
For when Zach signs that contract with the Bulls.
I think you might create that gift, man. You might actually create that gift right there. I told you that's all I've been waiting for is for him to sign it so we can come up on the show and just talk that noise. Like,
honestly, so the three of us were talking about this off air yesterday after we finished up our Monday pod. There's a decent chance that Zach does take some meetings.
Yeah.
See what's out there, put a little heat on the Bulls front office
as he should.
And ownership, make them sweat, and that Zach finally comes back to Chicago, signs on that dotted line while we're hanging out in Vegas for Summer League.
It's a possibility.
Ain't nowhere to throw a Zach staying with the Bulls party like Las Vegas, baby.
I like your thoughts.
Woo, I hope that happens.
I like your thoughts.
One actually interesting, we should just hit on these because it's interesting news from this Jake Fisher at Bleacher Report article this morning. On the Zach topic, he said LaVine is eligible for a roughly $200 million deal. And then he says whether that season is fully guaranteed is a player option or nets other potential outcomes remain to be seen. So to me, that says, well, maybe there can be some injury protections, or maybe he only wants 4 years or a player option on the 5th year. So I think that's really where like the relative uncertainty lies. And then separate from Zach, he said that the Bulls seem unwilling to include Patrick Williams in a deal alongside Vooch for Gobert, and that the Bulls are actively discussing 18 and Kobe White with rival teams. So a little bit more noise on the Bulls front here. We will see how this plays out. Obviously, like the draft is kind of when all the dominoes start to fall. So next Thursday when we've got our Megathon live show, tune in because I'm sure there will be something.
Brian in the comments saying, is our 18th pick worth 2 or maybe 3 seconds? That's one way that they could go. But as Will just told y'all, there is also potential that AK and Eversley are looking at packaging that 18 and Kobe White to try to make some draft night trade to acquire more talent to help this team win and win now.
It's possible. And also, if the guy that they want isn't there at 18, that's also going to be a possibility of getting that traded off. But this is all the insights you're going to get next week, guys. You know what I'm saying? Come in and hanging out with us because Thrill will be back in studio, baby.
He's almost home. He's almost home.
I'll be back. Just waiting for it to cool down.
Wait for it to cool
down.
A few more comments as we transition to our next draft profile. Barton saying, I'm surprised the number of guys projected to go 15 to 20 that I'd be genuinely happy with us taking. Walker Kessler is not one of them, however. I think that's how all 4 of us feel.
On Kessler, I'm just wondering, like, would any of you prefer Kessler to EJ Liddell? Because they bring a similar skill set, like the strength of their game is similar, and EJ Liddell gives you way more positional versatility, better perimeter defense, although it's not the strength of his game, but that's just, like, that's where my head goes. It's not even close.
No, it's not close. You take Liddell or even Will's got Tari Eason. You know what I mean? Like all those guys are definitely
just less limited.
Higher. Yes. But he should be in the NBA, I think, because of the skill set he has on the defensive end, Will.
I was just going to say, I would not be surprised if he falls into the second round. I don't think he'll be the 3rd center taken, even behind Chet and Mark Williams and Duren. I would probably go Christian Koloko out of him. I want to do some more film stuff on him, but there's a couple other center options. But again, for me, I'm just not a big like rim rolling shot blocking center guy. I want small ball. If we're going to have Vooch next year, I want another look that you can give, which is small ball, obviously, as Dave knows. So yeah, I'm okay without the shot blocking. I think you can get that in other places, whether it's preemptively switching, getting Lonzo and maybe somebody like EJ Liddell in there who can both protect the rim from the weak side outside of the center position. I think there's a variety of other ways that you can do that, but somebody like that is going to play at most 15 to 20 minutes a night, not going to close games for you. Maybe they start, but then like, what do you do with Vooch? It doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah. So there it is. Like I wanted us to include Walker Kessler as one of these choices as we do our draft profiles because I've seen a lot of Bulls fans on Twitter being like, Maybe this is our answer at the center position.
Not at 18, bro.
Not at 18. I don't think so. In the comments, Cameron saying, would be legendary if AK ends up drafting Nikola Jokic and Nikola Jovic.
Would be a legendary. He's right.
Stay tuned, because we're talking about Nikola Jovic coming up next. But first, Big Dave.
Yes, sir.
Owen.
Look.
Living right.
It's hot as hell outside. All right? That's what's going on out there.
Tank.
You don't want to go out there, not right. You want to go out there correct. You want to have all your proteins in you. You want to have all those things that feel good to make you continue on with your wonderful day.
Yep.
Why not get you an Owen? That's what you need in your life. You need you some Owen, because not only does it provide you with all that, it's also cold, crisp, and delicious, y'all. Free of those artificial ingredients, allergen-friendly, no gluten or dairy, easily digestible on your stomach, and you're going to need that in this 90-degree heat. You don't need to be fighting no wars. You don't need to be going through it with your body. You need something smooth. Owen is here for you. 100% plant-based protein shake. Gives you that nutrition that works as hard as he does, as I do, as we'll do, and as you do out there watching this, y'all. So this is what you get. We're going to give you something. 20% off your first purchase at liveowen.com. Just use that code CHGO20. And that's not just me telling you. That's Chicago Bears QB1 Justin Fields telling you this too. Get on down with the Owen, y'all. Get you some. 20% off your first purchase, liveowen.com. CHGO20. Because as we all know, a win's a win.
Ooh.
That's it.
It's like, after you drink something.
No, that was awesome. Like, I'm not laughing at you. I'm saying that was awesome.
Well, I've done it before, and people were like, what the hell was that?
I never caught it.
Who said that?
They all looked at me. They all looked at the big dude like, that was Dave, wasn't it? He did it.
Speaking of which, all you Bears fans out there, make sure you're tuning in for our awesome CHGO Bears coverage of
awesome.
OTAs going on right now.
Yeah, man, they got it covered.
Literally right now, says Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence.
Yeah, don't know.
When
Don't
you're done watching this, go back and watch that.
Smart man.
Boom.
That's law.
All right, let's talk about Nikola Jovic, shall we?
Shall we? Two-time MVP?
Right. Okay, real quick. Protein. Before we get to Jovic, protein. You sent me this video earlier today.
Okay.
They put up a new NBA edition mean tweets on Jimmy Kimmel last night.
Yes, they did.
Zach LaVine was one of the participants.
He was.
And somebody made some joke about him looking like a dude who eats sausages
out of a can. Yes.
And Zach's answer was, I don't eat pork, bro.
He don't get down. He don't get down.
It broke my heart, Dave.
I know it did, Matt.
Broke my heart.
I know it did, and it elevated mine.
You gotta eat your pork, Zach.
He don't need that. Without pork, he has gotten himself this fat new contract is what he has gotten.
Pork is good for you.
Shout out Zach LaVine, staying off that swine. Good on for you, Zach. Good on, brother. Proud of you.
Off that swine.
I mean, hey, more pork for me, I guess.
Boy, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
All right, y'all. So our pal Sean from CHGO White Sox maybe is not aware of this NBA draft prospect by the name of Nikola Jovic, who said, hey, it's a typo. It's Nikola Jokic. Yes, thank you, Sean. We know who Nikola Jokic is.
Yo.
He's the reigning MVP of the league.
Yo, shout out to his handle, though, called Being Bitter.
Well, yeah.
This has been a tough time for us White Sox fans out here, and I know what he's going through. And then you saw the picture he had in the Abbey. We ain't going to even get into that. But, yes, shout out to him, man.
I'm a little bit scared to go to the tailgate on the 22nd. Which
should be.
Shout out anybody that lives in and around the Chicago area. White Sox tailgate party with all of our CHGO family, June 22nd. Come hang out with us. We can all commiserate together. Maybe start some certain chants of certain kinds together. You know I love those chants. You know I love those chants.
The joy on your face right now is insane. That's awesome, man. Staying it off of it, dupes. Getting off of it, baby.
I am fully on the swine.
Staying off that hog, man. Get on off that.
Got a fresh pound of bacon in my fridge right now. All right, Nikola Jovic. Take two. Take three.
Here we go. There
we go. Take a look at his measurables and his stats for Mega this past season. 6'10", 6'10", call it 6'11", and a 7-foot wingspan. There you see his shooting splits on the bottom right-hand side. Not great. Obviously would have liked to see that 3 ball be hit with a little bit more consistency. But this guy, people are talking about him being a new age NBA kind of 6'11", who can do everything offensively. He can handle the ball. He can bring the ball up the floor. He can initiate offense. He's got great court vision. He's an excellent passer. And then he can also create his own shot off the dribble. He's got a lethal step back. He's got a Dirk shot in the post.
He does
like
have
a legit Dirk shot in the
true.
post.
He does.
And he's also strong enough and crafty enough that he finishes at the rim more impressively than you would think looking at him. Yeah. There's a lot about Jovic offensively that I love.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm going to keep this short because I want to pass this to Will because Will, I think, checks out those European players a little bit better. And I love hearing his takes on this stuff because for me, it's hard. Every time I watch tape on the Euro, it's hard to get a feel of them because they don't play as many games. And you look at their stats and you can't just look at their stats and judge them by that. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, oh, man, he shot 30% from 3 and comes away and shooting like high 40s. He's like, oh, well, you didn't see him in the Super Euro, saying Tachwat League where he ran, won 3 MVPs there. Like, no, I did not. So, but I will say this, just looking at him, everything you say, I completely agree with, Matt. What I liked about him, he ain't scared at all. All right. The aggression is on point from him. And he is unselfish like I haven't seen in a while. Like unselfish. All right. He is trying to get everybody involved. He was making plays where he's getting to the rim, and I'm like, here comes a layup. Nope, bounce pass. Bounce pass right there for the easy lay. And it wasn't the wrong play. It wasn't overpassing. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, that's a good pass. That's exactly the pass you would make if you're really good at playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I liked him watching his performance out there offensively. Defensively, I just thought he put in effort. And I like the fact that he tried hard on it. And he's not a defensive stalwart. He's not going to stop you or anything like that. But you ain't just going to run up on him. He will block your shots. You come up in there like that. But, yeah, man, I thought he was solid. He needs the ball in his hands. But he could score in a myriad of ways for all the ways you just mentioned, Matt. And he'll go dunk on you on top of all that. So, yeah, I like the confidence in him. I really do. I like that confidence in him. And I was really pleased watching his tape, Will.
Yeah, his fieriness really stood out to me in the first couple plays I watched about him. Just he's going to the basket aggressively. He's dunking on people. He's yelling. He's screaming. He's a fiery competitor. And I think, for a lot of the Euro stereotype guys that are like, oh, this dude's soft. He doesn't really have an inside game. He just wants to float around the perimeter. That is not him at all. I think he has a lot of the feel and playmaking and touch that a lot of these European players grow up with. But to your point, I mean, he goes to the basket and is trying to dunk on you. So I really like that about him. He kind of falls to me in the same category as Ousmane Dieng, who's another prospect we have not talked about. He played with the Breakers in the NBL in the Australian League. And to me, Jovic is a better prospect. He has more of a complete scoring package. He's got the step back 3. He can get into the lane. I don't think he's quite the facilitator that Dieng is, but he's definitely got that in his game. But he's also, I think, more capable of playing off the ball, catch and shoot. I think he was around 35% on threes. So he's got a lot of work to do. I think he's pretty raw, but I like the foundation of his game and what his major skills are for a guy that's 6'10", who can pass, dribble, shoot, and defend a little bit, who's also aggressive and wants to get better. That's a player I can get behind. I really like his tools.
Yeah, I agree. All of that. I just watched him and I was like, yeah, all I did. All I said watching it, yeah, he gets. And honestly, that was the main thing for me was the confidence and Will said, the fire that he has, that he plays with. But it was a controlled fire. It wasn't just out of control. I'm just going crazy, diving head first, in the stands trying to get loose balls. Yeah. No, it was a controlled fire because you have to be that to have that passing that he has, to run that point guardsmanship. And I saw somebody in the comments, Cameron, say that he brings size and playmaking, 2 things we lacked last year. The more I think about it, the more I like it. You're absolutely right. They lack size, and they definitely lack playmaking when Lonzo went out. Those were the two huge things for the Bulls, and he kind of does both of those things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. I also see some people in the comments asking, and clearly this is probably on your mind because we've now had 2 seasons of where's Marko Simonovic?
Oh,
people
Marko.
asking, Darius saying, can he play this year, though? And Brian saying, if we get him, will he play? And, as you try to translate the EuroLeague stuff and, this guy played at Mega, we know AK obviously is a guy who scouted Jokic very heavily. And then, Marko played at Mega, and so he scouted him. And this guy plays at Mega, and you're like, okay, well, they took a swing on Marko as a second-round swing, and he's played some decent games for the Windy City Bulls, but has gotten no run with the real team.
0.
So I understand that there might be a little bit of apprehension on how much of a project Jovic is, who, by the way, is still 19, correct, Will?
He's 19, and he was projected to be a lottery pick last year. At the beginning of the season, he was projected top 10 pick. He's a good player, and I think that's a really dangerous game to play in terms of these European guys aren't going to pan out. That's I don't know. I just think you have to be really careful about that. You miss on a lot of players that way, and Simonovic has not been good, but he also was tearing it up in the G League. He's younger. He was awesome in Europe. It could be a variety of different reasons why it hasn't worked out for him so far. But these guys are completely different players. Is more of a point guard.
Right, yeah, he's to me, there's no comparison between Jovic and Marko Simonovic.
No,
they play completely different styles of basketball.
Completely different.
Except for the bitch.
Right, and everything that I've seen, as I look through our spreadsheet of every mock draft from every outlet, I've seen Jovic taken ahead of the Bulls at 18 in maybe 2 of them. Most of them, 90% of them, have him going somewhere between 18 and 30. So, maybe people would call it a reach if AK says, I love this kid from Mega, I want him, we're taking him at 18. Yeah. Or maybe, as Will was just alluding to, he's a greater value than post-lottery and is a lottery-level talent. Yeah. For whatever reason or reasons, he's fallen a little bit. I mean, it's a dicey game to play, but
it is.
And okay, look, let me also say this real quick. Defensively, yikes. Yikes.
Yeah.
He has a crazy sprite. His strides are insane, and he can make some plays in recovery on defense.
He can, yes.
But if you're asking him to guard somebody in space, kind of like what we were just saying with Walker Kessler, you ask him to guard somebody in space, forget about it, okay?
Yeah, he's getting cooked.
But do you so badly want the Bulls to add another two-way player because they're lacking two-way players? Or are you intrigued by what he can do offensively and the potential of what he can do offensively? Because potential of what he can do offensively is looking real fine to me.
Yeah, it does. But I think that's the question there. Are you willing to say, okay, I'm going to let the Bulls get another guy based on potential and let him wait? Because, again, I don't know if he's going to come in ready to be in the NBA or not. I just don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. So if he comes in and he's not ready, I could just hear fans immediately starting to lose their mind. You got Marko and you got this Nikola guy. What's going on? Nobody can play. I can really, truly hear this happening. So I just want to know what risk are they willing to take? Because it's a risk. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they take. Are they telling us he's ready to play now? Are they telling us he's not ready to play now? So, and Marko's was different because he's a second rounder. So you can afford to take that. And people who want to keep comparing him to Jokic, again, Jokic was a second rounder. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to take those risks.
He was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial.
Exactly.
Famously.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you can take him there in the second round. Number one at 18, it seems like they're trying to get somebody who can come in right now and do that. If they feel like Nikola's that guy, listen, I'm all with it.
Matt,
I think that's...
Sorry, Will, real quick.
I was just going to say... Oh, go ahead, Joey.
Matt, what you said makes a lot of sense in terms of they need more two-way players. For me, it's kind of a moot point, but when we talked about who last week ad nauseum about the Bulls adding Rudy Gobert, this would be the perfect player if they made that move. An offensively talented four who's versatile and can just contribute in a lot of ways. I mean, I think questioning the fit as the roster stands right now makes sense. But that was where my mind went. Go ahead, Will.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to ever be able to please everybody with a draft pick. Like, no matter where you're picking, Patrick Williams was too young, and he's not Josh Giddey or LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. Okay, now we're going to take Ayo Dosunmu, who's 22, and he has no upside because he's a 3-year college player, and he was good, but like, how much better? It's just, you're never going to be able to please everybody. I don't think you really draft for fit. Like, for me, somebody like EJ Liddell is an example of a player who is probably going to fit, but also be one of the best talents available where they pick. If they feel like Jovic has the most potential and they want to sort of be able to give him time to develop him, great. I don't think that you're pretty much ever going to find a guy who you can slot in as like a high level performer in a playoff setting with the 18th pick or really any pick in the NBA draft. It's just very difficult to do that. It's too much of a crapshoot. You don't know what you're getting. I trust the Bulls overseas scouting. I believe that AK will find the right players, but I also think it's kind of silly to just like say, well, we got to get a 20-year-old who's a 4, who is a good shooter and a good defender, but also has good upside. Like, those players just don't exist. So you have to weigh what makes the most sense for you on draft night and draft that way. But I think it's dangerous to just say like, this guy's not going to be good, or he's not going to play right away because he's European and he's not going to be able to defend. So let's just not take him, because he could turn into like a heliocentric star. Like, we don't know. And I certainly have not watched him enough to say that. I kind of mentioned this before, like he and Ousmane Dieng are kind of two of the higher caliber overseas prospects. Dieng is projected like late lottery. Jovic is like in the 20s. I feel like they're pretty close. I think Dieng is like a little bit better defensively, has a little bit less going on offensively. But yeah, I mean, I could see either of those guys booming or busting, and I could see Jovic being great, value at 18. I could see him, totally busting. We don't know, but I think it's silly to just draft for fit or draft for like win now kind of players, because these guys are all either 19 or 20. Like, you're not going to really get much going on there.
That's available, man.
Our guy Hayes in the comments, shout out to him, saying Jovic has the chance to be the best player in this draft when it's all said and done. Like, to what you were just speaking about, Will, like he definitely, there is some of that, magic fairy dust around Jovic, right? And not just because he's a European player. It's because he's a dude who's 6'10", 6'11", and can play the point.
Yeah.
Like, he's got Magic Johnson, Luka Doncic dust on him, okay?
Yeah.
He's got Tony Kukoc dust on him, okay? And in this draft class in particular, I don't know about you guys, and I've watched them less than other years' top 3 consensus guys, because the Bulls are all the way back at 18 as opposed to 7. So which one of the top 6 is going to fall to us? Jabari Smith, Holmgren, Paolo. My faith that any of those 3 are going to turn into like NBA superstars is so minimal.
Agreed.
Like, I think that Hayes is not crazy to suggest that there is an outside shot that Jovic comes over to the NBA and ends up being the best dude in this class.
Well, I mean, and look at what has happened in previous drafts. You can easily back that up, right? Looking at Luka, looking at Joker, and even looking at Giannis. You know what I mean? Just looking at Embiid. You know what I mean? Looking at all of that. So you've got plenty of ammunition to be like, yeah, this can happen for this guy too. Because you're just watching his tape, and it's like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's an insane thing to think. Like, he can play. The dude can do it. And that three-point shot is, oh, my God. I didn't even talk about that, but that's super confident when he's taking those shots, man. I just like watching him play. I do.
He's a great stroke. And I like he's got a really high release point on his shot with his frame and his form.
Yeah, you're not blocking that.
You're not blocking. And he's got a Luka step back.
He's got the Dirk.
He's got a Dirk, baseline step back Dirk jumper with a leg up.
Yes.
He's also got the Luka step back 3. He's got the Tatum step back 3.
Yeah, that's nasty, man.
Woo!
Putting that in his game. Hey, Will.
But again, I was just going to say, like, the comparisons, like, that's all everything what people love to do at the draft time. But it's the same thing as, like, drafting a Kentucky guard because, like, they had Devin Booker and, like they also had Aaron Harrison, or maybe he went to Kansas. I don't even know. But like, my point is, exactly, like you can't just take a guy because there was a guy before him who like was also from the same place who was also good. Like there's also guys from that same place who were not good. So I think that's like, I don't know. I don't like making those kind of comparisons.
Hey, Will, man, I'm gonna need you to get a Bulls fan voice. Like Matt has one, and I have one. But when you're talking about Bulls fans, you don't have a Bulls fan voice. We gotta get you a Bulls fan voice, man.
I need a meathead voice.
Yeah. Yes.
I need a canned pork.
It can sound
voice.
whatever you want it to sound like. There's just one rule. It has to be disrespectful.
Okay, wait. I want to hear. Can you guys give me an example again? I think I know what it is, but I want to hear it.
Oh, Dave just busted his out a few minutes ago.
You just heard mine. I just broke that right on out, man. And it has to come naturally. You can't force it.
Can't force it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. I'll try to.
Matt's is a little worse. I think Matt's is a little worse than mine because there's no love in Matt's at all, man. He really means that I can't stand y'all.
I don't know if you know this, Dave, but we're trading Kobe and Vooch, and we're getting Rudy.
Like, you can hear a little John C. Reilly in it. You know what I'm saying? From Step Brothers. You can hear that a little bit in there, too. Like, it's impressive. It's impressive, man. You got to get you one, Will, man.
Elite stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I'm on that level yet, but I'll work on it. I'll get some reps.
Oh, my goodness.
Awesome. Really?
No, I'm not reading that one.
I ain't heard that. That's a new one for me.
Oh, no? Chief C, he's not Tyler. I can hear
really?
it. I
Seriously?
can hear it.
Oh, man.
I can hear a little bit. I can hear it a little bit.
You can hear that in there?
I can hear a little bit.
That's
yeah.
all right. All right, then.
I'm just saying, don't throw the word Jello into one of your
I'm done. End the show. We're done.
Let's get out of here. There's two more draft profiles for you, Bulls Nation. Walker Kessler and the Serbian sensation, Nikola Jovic. We'll have some more draft profiles for you guys at the back end of this week and into next week, which is draft week. But tomorrow, Big Dave, you want to tell them what's on deck?
Oh, we got an awesome guest coming in to the studio tomorrow. Y'all know him from NBC Sports Chicago doing the pre and post there. You might also know him from his very long 15-year playing career in the NBA.
Also familiar with the NBA draft.
Yes, also very familiar with the NBA
Former
draft.
number 5 overall pick.
And also University of Illinois Final Four 1989. That man they call Kendall Gill. We'll be right here in the studio with us, y'all. KG will be right here.
Just one by one, knocking out our former colleagues.
Hey, man, calling them in, baby. Calling them favors right on in, man. And it just means like they did like us. Because they can easily just be like, no. But
that's crazy.
They're here.
And Will, you start your return travels tomorrow. Is that correct?
That is correct. I will be in office with you guys a week from today.
Oh, man, looking forward to it.
He's on his way home, Dave.
He's on his way.
Come on home,
Come
Will.
on through.
Come on home.
Come on, we got a spot
for
you.
Happening.
Can't wait to hug your beautiful Kyle Korver-shaped body.
I wish I was 6'7".
Wish I was a little bit taller.
All right, so we're back here live tomorrow, same time, same place, 3 p.m. Chicago time at our studios in the West Loop. Kendall Gill will join us in studio. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at Won'tGottlieb, at BAWL, BAWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Shout out to our pal and our producer, the one, the only, the great Joey Spath.
Joey!
Until next time, Bulls Nation, appreciate you for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button underneath the video. Helps us out a lot. Love ya. See Red, be good.